So far, so good.
Right? So I was talking about one method local variables you cannot use in another method. Why? What is the reason? The reason is, see, for every method call, one frame will create, okay? So this is the stack memory. So one frame, this is the one frame set. Like this frames will create. For example, this M1 frame. This is M2 frame. So like this, it will create, okay? And this is the main, okay? So this is the main method frame, okay? And this is M2 method frame. This is the M1 method frame. All the M1 method variables will come and store here, okay? Will come and store here. M2 method variables come and store here. Now what will happen once this method execution is over and this will be destroyed from this frame. Second, once that method, so no more variables in the memory. Without any value in the memory, can you use?
No.
That is the reason local variables are not accessible in another method. Because this is not there in the memory at all. And same way this M2 method execution is over, these are all will be destroyed. Nothing is there in the memory. So that is the reason you cannot use one method local variable in another method. Okay, that's what the point I told here. That's the point I covered here. Okay, every method after that stack will be destroyed. Can you see this point? The local variables are, these will be destroyed from the stack when the completion of method execution. This is the meaning of that. That's just now a diagram I have shown you, right? That will be destroyed from the stack. That means from the stack memory. Okay, is this clear?
Yep.
Okay, now let's move on to the next type of variable. Instance variable or static, non-static variable. So instance variable or non-static variable. So instance variable or non-static variable. If you declare any variable outside the method, read this statement very carefully. If you declare any variable outside the method and inside a class without a static keyword, then that variable is called instance variable. So what is that? If you declare any variable outside the method, not inside the method, okay? Outside the method and inside a class without which keyword? Static keyword. Static keyword should not be present in that variable. So that variable is called non-static variable or instance variable. If you remember this syntax, you won't make mistakes while declaring the instance variables or non-static. So where is the declaration and assigning a value? Outside the method body. That means completely outside the method and inside a class. Without a static keyword. Static keyword should not be present. Then that variable is called non-static variable or instance variable. So non-static variables are accessible within any non-static method. Non-static variables are accessible within any non-static method. So where these non-static variables are accessible? In non-static methods only. Can you access him in the static method? No. You cannot access directly. Non-static variables are not accessible in static methods. So you cannot access them directly. There is a way for them, but directly you cannot access. Read this n number of times, these statements. If these statements are in your mind, then coding will come nicely. Because how to use variables, that will be so decided here. Okay. For instance variables, it is not required to initialize the value. Explicitly, you don't need to initialize it. You can just declare a variable, no need to assign a value. But JVM will provide a default values. JVM will provide a default values for them. JVM will provide a default values for it. In the case of primitives, the default value is 0. If it is a numbers. If it is a numbers, what is the default value for the any instance variables? 0. So who will assign? JVM will assign for them. As I mentioned in the local variables, default value won't be assigned by anything. You have to assign. Got it? But instance variables, they will get a value, default value. Even if you don't assign also, default value will be there. For object, what is the default value? Null. For strings, default value is null. For Boolean, default value is false. Okay. So, where this instance variables will store memory? Here. In the heap area. So, which memory they will store? In the heap area they will store. So, this diagram is not there, but heap area they will store. Once you create a object for the class. If you create object for the class, that time only a memory will be created in the heap memory. If you don't create object, even though you declared a variable, but you are not creating object, then memory won't allocate for them. Then when it will allocate memory? Only at runtime when you create object. Only at runtime when you create object. So only at runtime when you create object for the class. If you don't create object for the class, you are not going to get it. You are not going to allocate the memory for these instance variables. So that's what I told you. Instance variables are allocated memory on the heap. Since the instance variables are allocated memory in the heap, for every object, a separate copy of instance variable will be created in the memory. Every object, same variables will go and copy. For example, one class you can create a number of objects based on your need. Each object, same variables will go and copy in the heap memory. So instance variables are allocated memory at the time of creating the objects only. When you can create objects at runtime. Hence, these variables are also called object level variables, and instantly memory allocates for them. That's why they are calling instance variables. Instantly memory allocates when you create object only. That's why these variables are also called instance variables. So instance variables, the syntax is C access modifier is mandatory. Then data type, variable name equal to value. Are you seeing anywhere a static keyword?
No.
That's the non-static variable syntax means. Static means static will be there. Non-static means static keyword must not be present. Very simple to remember, right? So the syntax is once you know, it's easy. So first you have to use the modifier, what permission you want to give. So where you want to use this variable. That's a permission, right? This one. Access modifier will set the permission. Where you want to use this variable. Okay. Then data type, what data type value is this? that you are telling, I want this data type. Non-static final variable syntax. Access modifier, final, data type, variable name equal to value. So as I mentioned in the local variables, the difference between normal variable and final variable. What is that? This value you can change in the next line. Now, for example, you assigned private int I equal to 10. In the next line, I can change I equal to 20. I can reassign for this variable, I can reassign a new value if it is a normal variable. For example, I declare protected final string S for Java. I cannot change this S4 value from Java to some other value in the next line. I cannot reassign a new value. That's the final. Final means constant. You cannot change the value. Is it clear, sir? The above one and this one. When the final is there, what is the meaning? Why you need to use final? A final is a non-access modifier keyword. It can be applied on the variables, methods, classes. But when you declare a variable as a final, the value once you assign, you cannot reassign. You cannot change that value. Is it clear for you or not?
Clear.
That's the final. The meaning itself telling final. Once you assign, you cannot change it. In the next line, you cannot change it. Here you can change it, but next line you cannot change. So S4, for example, next line, if I write here, if you write here, S4 equal to selenium, then it will throw error. Okay? Why? Already it's a final variable. S4 is a final variable. You cannot change. See, S4 you are already assigned a Java. But what you are doing in the next slide? You are changing that S4 value Java to selenium. This is not acceptable. This is not acceptable. This is not acceptable. Clear, sir?
Clear.
But here, this is possible. See, in the next line, I can change it. Data equal to 10. This is possible. This is possible, okay? But here, this is not possible. Right?
Yes.
So, very clearly, we discussed it with the examples. So, when there is a final, when there is a not final, what is the change? For every variable, same process, okay? Same process. See now, public class instance variable demo. See, first I have written where I told you. Below the class, above the methods. Where methods I declared, here I method declared. See, method above, below the class. What is the syntax you need to write? Access modifier, data type, variable name equal to value. So that's what I did. Access modifier place, I put a public. Data type place, I put a integer. Variable name I have given A20, comma. I want to give for the B variable also same access modifier, same data type. The name only I am changing, B equal to 30. Now, A and B are what type of variables?
Instance variables.
Instance are non-static variables. Why? Where it is declared? Below the class, above the methods. Method above. Not inside the method we declared, right? Declaration you have to see where it is declared and assigned a value. Declared here and assigned a value. But this one, float x equal to 4.5. String str equal to Java. So now x is a what type of variable, str is a what type of variable.
They're both non-static variables, right?
Why? Non-static, these are
not declared static, so
okay, not declared static.
as well as it's above the method body and under the class.
Excellent. That's the one. Many people, 99.99% people answered wrong these two. Why they, do you know why they answered wrongly this one? They are telling these are local variables.
Mhm.
You are the one first time I am saying you told correctly. That means they didn't catch the local variable concept. That's why they are thinking still local variable. But they are not checking what is the local variable syntax I told you. It should be inside the method body, but they are not catching that point. That's the problem. This is the declared where? Inside the class, above the methods. But what is the access modifier here?
Default.
Default. Both for default only we used. So access modifier is here. Don't think it is a only data type, local variable equal to value. Okay, the syntax follows, but where it is declared? Below the class, above the methods, not inside the method. If it is inside the method, you can say it is a local variable. But it's not inside the method, right?
Mhm.
Then I don't know, many people, till now, all the members, they told wrong, incorrect. They're telling it's a local variable. How blunder it is, that means they didn't catch the local variable concept. Good.
Thank you.
Yeah. See, now method started here. So method inside I am declaring, see, data type, variable name equal to value. See, the data type is an integer. Variable name is a sum. Now a plus b. A and b you declared where? Here. But you are consuming here, okay? Where I can use, I told you instance variables, where you can use? Where you can access instance variables? In which methods you can access? Just now we discussed it, sir.
Non-static, sorry.
In non-static method only, not in static methods. That's why, see, I declared non-static variables. See, I'm using where? Inside the non-static method. So I can use A here. I can use B here. For my calculations, I'm using that output I'm storing in the local variable. Now, why it is a local variable? Sum is a local variable.
Because it's inside the method body.
It is declaring also inside the
Within,
method
yeah.
body and assigning a value for that. That's why sum is a local variable. So this is the syntax also I have written here. So that's the sum is a local variable and I can use in the same method only. Next, see M4. Float F1 equal to 3.5F plus A plus B. Now, F1 is a local variable or instance variable?
Non-static.
F1, sir. Where you declared F1?
Oh, you scroll up. Oh, it's not in anywhere else. So sorry, it's within the method body, so it is a local.
Local, right? It's local.
Yep.
See, another thing you can say, method body inside the variable name before data type is there means that's a where you are declaring. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's why obviously it's going to be a local variable. Now here, see, there is no data type here, right? Just variable name you are calling. That means these are declared somewhere. A and B, right?
Mm-hmm.
You are calling here. So that's the instance variables means. See, I'm trying to use in the, this, what type of method is this?
Static.
Static
Or
method.
yeah.
Static method inside, I'm trying to use A. A is what type of variable here? Non-static. So can I use a non-static variable inside the static method?
No.
No, then you will get an error here in this line. So as per this statement. as per this statement. Non-static variables are not accessible, not used in the static methods. You should not use in the static methods directly. But I'm trying to call. I'm trying to call here. That is not acceptable. This is not acceptable. Okay? So why, as per our statements? Non-static variables you can use in the non-static methods n number of times. Here also used, here also this method used, and this method also you can use, no problem. Non-static variables you can use in non-static methods, any non-static method. But you should not use in the static methods directly. So are we clear on the non-static variables?
Yes.
So once you can declare first, okay, outside the methods below the class. Then you can use them in any methods, in any non-static methods only. Remember that. Any non-static methods only directly you can use. See, I'm calling directly, right? Directly the variable name I am calling. So A value, what is the A value you will get here?
20.
What is the B value you will get here?
30.
So what is the output it will store in the sum?
50.
50. That's it. Same way here also 3.5 plus 20, 50, 53.5 will store in the F1. Okay. So that's all about non-static variables. Let's go to static variables. If you declare any variable as a static, that variable is known as a static variables. And if you declare any variable inside the class, outside the method, with the static keyword, then that variable is called static variable. So what do you call that? See that? Very clear definition for both non-static and static. One is, so the placement for both static and non-static variable, same area. In this class area only. Okay? Here only. So below the class, above the method only. Above the method, below the class only. Then what is the difference?
Keyword static.
See, the difference is one have a static or other one doesn't have a static. If static is there, that is a static variable. If static is not there, that is a non-static variable. So here, see, both the placement is same, below the class, above the methods only. Placement never changes. But you can use them here. You can use these variables, right? You can use, see, I declared here, I'm using that here, right? I'm using everywhere here. One time you are declaring and you're using same. You no need to declare every time. That's advantage with the static and non-static variables. You can declare once and you can reuse the same variable name. So it saves the, right, space and everything, right? The memory also. One time only you're declaring. And here data also. Okay. Now, so that's the static variable means. The static variables can be used to refer the common property of all objects. So like, company name of employees, college name of students. So here company name common, college name common. That's why these things you will declare as a static. So such kind of anything which is common to all objects. So that thing you declared as a static variable. So static variable have to declare at class level only. Cannot be declared in the method level. Method inside you cannot declare. Okay. Method inside you can declare only local variables. So the static variable gets memory only once in the class area. In this class area memory, in this method area. So here all the class level data will be stored here. Class level data means static variables and static methods will get stored in the method area only. And they will share the resources. So once you declare, you can share them. So when it will be allocated for memory for them in the class area, well, time of class loading time. But only one time memory allocates for that. Static variables are accessible within any method. You can use same static variable in static method, non-static method also. But non-static variable is not like that, right? Non-static variable is not like that.
You can only use it in non-static.
Non-static methods only, directly. But static variables you can use anywhere because it's a common property. It's common to all. That's all. Okay. So clear, right?
Yep.
Okay. These are very, very, very important. If you understand these concepts, this is the first high priority topic you have to give. Every statement should be in your mind. Then only you can make the coding nicely. If these points are not in your mind, it's very difficult. You will make mistakes in the code. And you will declare and you will use in the wrong place, the variables. Because those points are not in your mind. That's why you'll make mistakes. Maybe you will call non-static variables in the static methods directly. Local variables you will try to call in the another method. These are not violations, right? As per our points. Because you didn't read them. And the declaration also, you don't know where to declare local variables. Another point. If one variable, if you want to use in multiple methods, okay? In multiple methods, right? If you want to use in multiple methods, you should not declare it as local variable. Okay? You should not declare it as a local variable.
Got it.
If you want to use one variable in multiple methods, either you declare a static variable or a non-static variable. Same variable you want to use in multiple methods. You should not declare it as a local variable. These points are crucial because in the automation, these points are very, very helpful. Sir, we are reading here and where you will use in the automation. Yes. This topic is highly used in the automation. Fundamentals are very, very important. You will keep on using this variable topic. Okay. So static variables are accessible any method inside. So static variable syntax is access modifier, static, data type, variable name equal to value. I already introduced it in the program keywords itself, this syntax. Again, I'm repeating one more time. Static final variable, access modifier, final, static, data type, variable name equal to value. So final variables always you will write all capital letters. And the words will be joined by underscore. See max count, min count. But the normal variables you should not write like this, right? Normal variable starts with the lowercase. Right? That's what the naming conventions I told you. But final variable names, you have to write all capital letters. See public static final int min watts equal to 300. See here first initially I assigned 300 to this minimum watts. Minimum watts equal to minimum watts plus 25. what I'm doing here? What I'm doing here, can you tell me what is mean by this line? What I'm doing in this line?
You're trying to increase the value of min words by 25 and make it 325, but you can't do it because it's declared as a final.
Okay, I'm increasing, but what
Mhm.
I'm doing later, so this is the, I'm adding current, what is the current value of minimum words? 300.
300.
300 plus 25. So the value 325. Then what I'm doing this after this?
You're trying to assign it to min words again, right?
That's important. See, you are incrementing. And then what this value, this is doing assignment operator. This value trying to copy in this right side variable.
Mhm.
That means you are changing the value, right?
Mhm.
300 to 325. As I mentioned, final variable value cannot be changed, right?
Mhm. No.
Final variable value cannot be changed. Anyway. So static variable demo. So see here, access modifier, static, data type, variable name equal to value. Float F2 equal to 5.5F. Static, see here, default access modifier I used. So I started with the static. That means access modifier here is default.
Default.
What type of variable is this F2?
It's a float. Oh, it's a static variable.
Where is static, sir? Where you are seeing static?
Oh, it's not static, sorry. It's a non-static variable.
Non-static variable. So variable type means only three: local, non-static, static. That's it, okay?
Mhm.
So you should not tell data types. You should not mix data types with the variable types. Variable types are different, data types are different. So static int x equal to 10, y equal to 20, z equal to 30. See, all these are x, y, z are static variables.
Mhm.
Static int add. So, but I declared, I didn't assign a value here. I didn't assign a value. I can assign later, okay?
Mhm.
But declaration happened in the below the class, above the methods. Now, first method, public static void sum method. So now here, data type variable name equal to value. So data type is integer, variable name is a, 60. So a is a, what kind of variable is?
It's a non-static variable.
Yeah, you are making mistake again. Where it is declared,
local variable.
sir.
Yeah, it's inside the method body, so it's a local variable.
That's what you need to look for that. So a is a local variable. A is a local variable. So now see, this add variable I declared here, but I'm assigning a value here.
Mhm.
A plus x plus y plus z. See that. A is a 60, 60 plus 10 plus 20 plus 30. See, now I assigned this output to this add variable. But the add is declared where? Above the method, below the class. But here I am assigning a value here. You can do assign a value in the inside the methods, okay?
Mhm.
Declaring here, and you can assign the value here. Add, subtract. So another method. See, I'm calling. See, static variables I called here. Even I can call here also. See, non-static method also I'm calling. That's what I told, right? Static variables you can call in the static methods, in non-static methods also. Right? That's what I told, right?
Mhm.
So you can call static variables in the static methods and non-static methods also. So double D. Now D is a local variable or a non-static variable?
It is a local variable because it's declared inside of the method body.
That's it. That's it. So now D is a local variable because it's declared inside the subtract method. So that's the static variables, how you can use, okay? In the both places you can use a non-static method, you can use static method. See, XYZ I used here. Even non-static method also I used. That's the advantage of static variables. Common to all the methods. So difference between static and non-static variables is static variables, they can access them using class names. Non-static variables, they can access from using objects only. Static variables can access them with the static methods as well as non-static methods also. But non-static variables are accessible only using non-static methods. They're allocated memory only once while loading the class. Non-static variables get memory when object is created. So static variables are shared by all objects. So static variables, they can share by all objects. Non-static variables are, each object has its own copy of non-static variables. Each object has its own same non-static variables in each object. Static variables have global scope, and non-static variables are having that non-static methods inside only, that local scope. So that's all about static keyword, non-static, all those things, okay? Let me show you about final keyword, final variable also. Let me explain. A final is a non-access modifier keyword. You can apply on the class, method, and variable. A final variable value cannot be changed. Okay. So, can you access static variables under non-static methods?
Yes.
Yes, we can access. Can you access non-static variables under static methods?
No.
No, that's good. So can static variables be used with the static methods? Yes. Can static variables be used with the non-static methods?
Yes.
Yes. Can non-static variables be used with the static methods?
No.
No. Can non-static variables be used with the non-static methods?
Yes.
Yes. So these are the some point. How can you execute the static method under main method in the same class? Just call the static method name that we have seen, right? I have shown you. So you created multiple static methods you called in the main method. You remember?
Yes, last time you did show me that.
So that's the question here. How can you execute the static method under main method in the same class? Just call the static method name and semicolon. How can you access one class static variable in another class? Class name dot static variable. So one class static variable you want to use in another class. How can you access there? Class name dot static variable. How can you access one class static method in another class? Class name dot static method. How can you call the static variables under main method? Directly call the static variables. Okay. So these are the things, and here are the some of the interview questions. Please go through this, okay, and try to solve these problems. Okay. Okay. So these are the things, and see you tomorrow. And but you have to explain me that those things and these exercises also you do them.
Okay.
Okay. So just go to there and variable topic. Just in the under labels you have a variable topic. Okay. Just click on that, you will get all these things. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. See you tomorrow.